cults.
We're going to talk about cults, and a lot of people don't like to talk about cults, but
it's controversial. It is.
It really is, but we're going to do it because we're controversial at this
point. And I don't know if y'all remember a few episodes back when Ash said that she thought that I would be more likely to join a cult.
We're going to talk about that too, okay? Ready?
I'm just so gullible sometimes.
Set.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Jello, I'm Ash.
And I'm Lynn.
And this is Only If You Can Keep Up.
Sorry I didn't join you. I decided to take a drink right when we said that.
It's
all right.
Yeah, so I do believe you would join a cult. I'm
and
not kidding.
You know, it depends on the cause, the leader. It depends. I can't say I wouldn't.
I swear, if someone was like, listen, if you don't join me, I will be angry with you. You'll be like, where's the pen?
Because I'm such a people pleaser.
I need to sign this paper now and leave everything
behind.
behind.
A lot of times they are guilted in. Like,
100%.
You know, they kind of prey on guilt and fear and things like that. So
you would
I don't want to upset anyone, okay?
Now listen, I don't want to say you would join like Charles Manson.
Right.
I'm not saying that. You're not about the murder or anything like that.
Someone's like, we're going to change the world. We're going to make the world a better place. If you don't join, you're going to make everyone so sad. And I'd be like,
where's the pen, Ariel? I'm going to sign with my voice.
I like to think I'm not easily swayed and gullible, but there are some things, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I believe you would. Like, you'd be the first. Like, now, like, I'm not going to lie. If we were back in, like, the 60s and 70s and old Manson rolled up with his big-ass van and was like, come join us, before we became murderers.
I don't know, though. He was pretty charismatic.
I would have been like, jump in the front seat, toot, toot, let's go. Now, once murder got brought up, I'd probably be like, I'm going to dip, guys.
I don't know, but by that time, you're so brainwashed. You're like, I'll do anything for my leader.
Oh, God,
who
it's
knows?
So creepy.
When you're so secluded from the outside life and you start believing everything that's in front of you, I can see why how people would start thinking this is what we're supposed to do.
Right. Okay, so we're going to start with the definition because I am the queen of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I also want to start off by saying there's actually no legal definition of the word cult.
It is. It's controversial. The lines are so blurred because it's kind of subjective what you consider a cult and what's not.
Definition.com, because they have a definition, of course, which is just them pretty much mixing everything together and making their own, essentially, is a term often applied to a religious movement or other social groups which have unusual and often extreme religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll say it's like strange, sinister type of behavior, but it's like misplaced admiration or devotion. And it's usually directed, towards one specific person or figure.
An object or a goal.
Yeah.
So
it could be like
it's not
a
just
subject.
a person.
It could be a subject, or it could be
literally.
But usually there is some type of leader who is running the show.
Yes, 100%. So a few characteristics of a cult.
Oh, I wanted to add too. The word cult. I did read that it does come from an ancient Latin word, cultus, which means encompassing the concepts of adoration, education, and cultivation. So I guess technically...
Why do we always take Latin words and, like, use them as, like, legit? Like, we're like, okay.
I guess because it gives us something to go off of. I don't know. Who makes up words? We don't know.
Some old man a long time ago. That's what I always have to tell my youngest. She was like, Mommy, why is C spelled S-E-A whenever it sounds like E-E?
Who fucking knows?
And I'm like, some old-ass man a long motherfucking time ago was like, listen, we're going to spell C two different ways. And this is how we're going to... That's just one of her vocab words from, like, weeks ago.
Just for instance.
So that's just like, because they were doing like words that sound the same that spell different, and I'm like, you just gotta learn. I just gotta remember.
It's hard. It is, and a lot of adults still can't remember. But there's a difference. You've got an actual cult, and then you've got like people use the term cult in a lot of situations, like a cult-like following, or like these movies have a cult following, or the cult movies, blah blah blah. Like, so it can be used differently.
Right. Here's an example. Like, the Scream franchise. Yeah. They have a cult following. Right. But it's not a cult. Yeah. They're not worshiping Ghostface and like going out and killing on his behalf. Yeah. They just really love and follow. They have a very common interest in loving this movie and have amazing discussions about it. That's
Which is how a cult usually starts.
Yes.
But that's where you get into the difference of being cult-like and being a cult.
Physical fucking cult.
That's what I think anyway. To each his own. But.
Right. Okay, so we're ready for the characteristics?
Yeah.
Okay. Authority control. Maximum dependency upon your leader. Yeah. So you are dependent on this motherfucker to guide you through every aspect of your life. People feel incapable of living an individual life outside of the norm of group.
Yeah.
So once you're in, you physically forget how to be an individual human being.
Yeah.
You almost, can't.
It's like your outside world doesn't exist anymore.
Literally, at all.
Because they isolate you from your loved ones. They get you to where you're almost afraid to leave.
Exactly. Like, threats come in eventually. Yeah. Extremist beliefs. You're unable to question these beliefs.
Yeah.
If you question these beliefs, you're scared the leader's going to come for you.
Yeah.
Like, and
it usually starts like the leader is so... They get you to think that this is the way. Like, they're so charismatic.
Right.
And they're so manipulative. Like,
they make you
psychologically
believe anything. Like, the craziest fucking things. And we're going to talk about a different crazy ones. And we're going to go into cult, like, actual physical cults here in a little bit. But, okay. Isolation from society. As soon as you join... Once you sign that paper, and I don't think there's like an actual paper to sign. I'm just saying.
Sometimes maybe, but not always.
Once you're in this fucking cult, you no longer have a mother. You no longer have a father. You no longer have a brother. You no longer have a child.
Yeah.
You are you. You are now part of this cult.
Yeah. And a lot of times they'll make them like surrender all their belongings, their money, everything.
Exactly.
And sometimes even their bodies, you know, like I control you now. Like you are mine.
And I think that comes in big with the sex cults.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do any sex cults because I really didn't want to know. That's like something my brain doesn't need.
So. And that's a lot of times they do go hand in hand. So even some of the, say, religious cults, sex is involved. Like you've got some where they take wives of all ages, or they, you know, there's a lot of like different kinds of abuse and control in all aspects. So sex often goes in with a lot of them. Like if I'm in charge, you do what I say, and it doesn't matter.
And they usually have several wives with bunny ears, because he's married to all these women, married bunny ears, because he's not legally married to anybody. Maybe one, maybe.
Polygamy is big in a lot of the bigger cults anyway.
It also becomes hive mind. Yeah, like 100%. Like everyone
become brainwashed.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Worship of a single person. We already kind of talked about that. It's almost always, like you said, there's always a leader. There's always one motherfucker who starts it.
And it's usually someone that's like, they think they're the Messiah, or they think they're some kind of prophet, or they have some kind of special healing powers, or some, especially in religious cults. But they will be worshipped without question, because they make these people fully believe that what they say is gold. Like that is the only way to live.
And I honestly think the type of people that go for these, that like get into these, are people who like have nothing to lose.
Yeah, a lot of them are in very vulnerable situations.
Exactly.
They do. Cult leaders often prey on people who are like abuse survivors, drug addicts, teen runaways, or people who have mental health issues, or just are in a low place, especially someone dealing with grief or feeling lonely, or just someone who's unhappy in general. Yeah. They will prey on them. They will seek them out. Yeah. And then, I mean, this still happens to this day. There are thousands of cults that still be active.
Still fucking active right now.
And they can do this online. They can do this out in public. Like, they can prey on these people and subtly get you to... You start trusting this person, and you love everything they say, and then this group sounds so wonderful. We've got a commune outside of such and such, and come check it out. And I don't know, we all love each other, and we help each other out. And how easy it would be for someone who is down and feeling lonely to just flock because it sounds so promising.
Right. I do want to say I have came across several different researches and even TikToks. Like, I didn't use TikTok to research, but just like in my time, of people who they are considered in a cult because we put them in a cult. We say you're in a cult. Yeah. They literally come together just because they're sick of the fucking world. Yeah. And it's not a cult. There's no leader. There's no worshiping. Yeah. There's no anything of that sort. But they have somebody who works in the kitchen. They have somebody who does the laundry. It's like a group of humans.
Having a group of, there are a lot of those that I think they are trying for the better good, or they are trying to help themselves. And we do consider them as cults because they have grouped themselves together. Oh, and it's usually a small amount, 100, 200, 300 people. In my opinion, a cult doesn't always have to be bad, even. No. But most of the time they are. Most of the time they end in a tragic way. The leader is a horrible person. I think the media
put a bad word on cult because I feel like there's probably more of these like little good groups of humans that like go out, and then these people will also like go out and help their community. Yeah. Like they will as a group go together to raise money for something. Like it's a good cause. Yeah. And I'm not saying there's nothing sinister within these sections of people. Right. But for the
but if
most
they're not
part,
hurting anyone outside,
they're literally
not...
just good people who got sick of their fucking daily life and decided to go live on a farm with other people.
Live off the grid and take care of each other. And so, I can understand that. I can.
I'm trying. You want to join?
Right?
Like, don't come near me like anybody else, but you can come.
Yeah,
like,
when they work together and they do good things, that's completely different.
I just acted as if I have a cold. I do not have a my animals, they worship me, so I guess
the
technically.
Cult of animals.
Right. Okay, so there are hundreds of types of cults.
Yeah.
All different kinds, but the 4 main ones that like most people know about are doomsday, political, religious, and sex. Like I said, we are not going to be talking about sex cults because I did not want to Google that. Like, I don't want to know what you do for that. That to me, I don't know. Like, I don't want to know about those kind of people. I like to know about the murdering people, but not the sex people. Like,
well, often it goes they go together.
Well,
so it's
I know
really
a
hard
lot of them. Like just from watching, like even shows that aren't real, but they portray real. Like, there's an episode of Criminal Minds where there's a cult in a church, and he's having sex with like young children.
Yeah,
that's
quite
what
a few of them like
I don't
that.
want to look into that. I don't want to know. It's just going to piss me off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I know they're not all young children, but still, if you're doing it with several women and calling them your wife, that's a problem.
Yeah,
because no, they're not.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean. Like they're just. I don't know. I can't do that.
That's when it goes too far for sure. But they will. A lot of times, these women. Not always women. Sometimes men too.
Definitely.
They're emotionally manipulated, like
100%.
to a point where because they're usually very cunning and very, very smart, so they can use these psychological tactics, and they'll get them to where they fear leaving, they feel guilty, they feel like
you
everything
have to think.
they have
to. Put yourself in this situation. You're sad. Your world has crumbled. You're depressed. You have nothing. Maybe you were abused. Maybe your life fell apart. Maybe your husband died. Whatever your situation is. And this man comes up to you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, honey, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to do this. And for the next, month, he is your person.
Yeah. And
you have now fallen head over heels for this motherfucker.
And sometimes it can be a woman who comes in as a best friend. Sometimes they recruit their members out to do this thing, to bring people in.
Yes.
So you may have this woman who, I've been through the same thing, I'm here for you. It could be any shape.
Yes.
But they know how to prey on these vulnerable people. And this is where the term love bombing comes to mind, where they shower you with adoration and validation. They make you feel heard and understood. And you feel loved, and you feel like you're hearing everything you need to hear. So why not follow these people? Why not trust these people? And then that's when things start changing. Is once you're actually in and you're not able to get out because
your life is
your fear is
what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
So now we're going to discuss some some are crazy. All of them are crazy, essentially, I think, but some cults that are fucking interesting. I know you hate the word interesting. Some of them are very well known.
I don't hate it. You hate it when I say it 100 times.
I have never said I hate it. No,
you're just like, you say that a lot. I finally got myself though. It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. But fascinating is your new one. It's so cute. I've never told you I hated that.
No, you never said hate.
No.
But
I think I just
started realizing how much I said it, and then that's when I tried to change it. When you were like, you say that a lot. I'm like, okay, I won't say it anymore.
Your cult leader made you. It's fine.
You're my cult leader.
Oh, God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're going to talk about a few cults. We're just going to go into, the craziness that what these different types can do to people. Seriously, there's so many. We picked a few. Like I said, I picked a really popular one. So did you. You got a couple really good ones. So you ready?
Yeah.
We're going to let you go first. Go.
First of all,
because I'm the cult leader, I'm telling you to go first.
Well, a leader in general, I need someone to tell me what to do half the time.
I know,
because
that's why
I'm floating around.
I just do it, because if not, we'll just sit here and be like,
I probably would make a good cult member.
You are a good cult member.
I just want to make everyone happy. Okay. But yeah, so how I talked about how different types of cults often kind of tie into each other.
Right.
One that comes to mind is the Waco, Texas thing.
Yes.
And this is controversial because it was such a horrible ending. It was such a horrible thing that happened to these people. Terrible. But when you think about the leader, a lot of people, you watch the movies and the documentaries, and they almost kind of make him look like a hero at times. It's not.
They do that a lot in documentaries. Yeah. I'm sorry, but they do.
And what he was doing, parts of it, okay, let him be. But there were other parts. So this is where I think a lot of it came together. It was a religious cult because their leader, David Koresh, he claimed to be a prophet. He was prophet, and he had this it was the the Branch Davidians. So very religious. He thought he was a prophet. He was also focused on like doomsday stuff. He was preparing for the apocalypse. So he was making and stockpiling all these weapons. But it would also get into the sex part. So you've got doomsday, you've got religious, but also the sex part, because he would take up to, I think it was like up to 20 wives, some which were children. He would control them, sometimes abuse them. And this is stuff that isn't always mentioned when they think of Waco, Texas, because it was so big with the raid in 1993, 51-day siege where the government came in, and because of all the weapons they had and it's terrible because the whole compound went up in flames and so many did die. But like, that's a cult where I think of it had a little bit of everything. It really did. Like,
okay, so you really didn't describe the cult in general though. So it's a man, like for people who don't know, this is what I'm saying. It's a man who religious 100%, and all of these people came. It was more than just the 20 wives though. Like he had a whole following. Yeah. Like did you get how many people? I don't even know.
I cannot remember how many people
there was a lot
of
fucking people in there.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. I don't, and of course some came and went, but
they had weapons because they thought the world was ending. Correct?
They were doomsday preppers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they were preparing, and they were making weapons and stuff. Exactly. And that was a big part of why they were seized. Because of
the FBI somehow found out. I don't exactly know how, and they came in, and it was a big fucking
51 days. So this whole time, but he started as this charismatic type of prophet, bringing these people in. But this was 1993, so probably one of the more recent ones, I guess.
I don't know. I've got a 2024.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're still all over the place, I guess. Yeah. But as far as big ones, you don't hear about it as much on the big ones anymore. Maybe because things are more easily found out. I don't know. But that's where it gets controversial, because religious groups in general, usually a large religious group is not going to be considered a cult.
Okay, so we talked about this off the air a little bit ago. Write the word cult down, write the word religion down, draw a line, and then erase the line. Yeah. That is how easy it is for a religion to become a cult. Yeah, because I'm not saying religious is cult. I am saying it is very easy.
It's when it becomes extreme, and it's usually the smaller branches, the smaller people who flocked to certain causes and things like that. Yes. And when they start,
there is such a line there, because I honestly feel like there's more religious cults than anything. Almost all cults,
they usually have some kind of spiritual reason.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So there's such a line there that needs to be drawn darker, honestly.
Yep.
But
it's very blurred.
Like, once again, I'm not trying to piss off religious people here. Yeah. But like,
well, because you've got like the Mormons, for instance, like. That's a religion that has been around a long time. And back in the day, they did a lot of things that weren't agreed with. And they eventually broke off into different branches. So you've got like the Church of Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints, like the things like polygamy and things like that that were outlawed and eventually not accepted. Right. They had smaller branches that broke off that still practiced some of those things that were looked down on. Those, I guess, would be considered cults now. Yeah. But like the original religion, and that's where you're like, okay, that's where people will start grouping all Mormons together. Oh, it's a cult.
And they're not at all.
Scientology is another one I won't go too much into, because one, it's mysterious in general, like it's so secretive, and I don't want to talk too much about it. But that's another one some people would say is because one, it's so secret, it's so out of the box, it's so away from the norm, right? And people get. So all I know about it is that they believe like in a thing humans are immortal beings that have lived past lives, and they're trapped in these human bodies, and they're just trying and find their true self and rid themselves of trauma and pain, and find their true purpose or whatever. But they believe that we're reincarnated souls that, immortal. That's all I really know about it. That, and that they bring in people, and there's a lot of high, celebrities and things like that are involved with it. Yeah. But some people think that it is one of the biggest cults because there's so little we know about it, and it is so secretive, and it's so controlling.
And it's probably, it could just be a media thing saying this is a cult, and it's not a cult at all. Seriously, we have absolutely no idea.
Yep. And that's the thing about all of it. It's so confusing because there's really no line to draw, I guess.
Right. So I've got a couple small ones, super fast go through. One is called Love Has Won Cult. I want to start off by saying there is a documentary you can watch on this on Max. It's called Love Gone Nope. Love Has Won. Not Love Gone Wrong. Love Has Won. The Cult of Mother God. If you want to go watch, because this is just a very brief.
Yeah.
I really did this one just to show how fucking crazy people are, because this one is insane. Amy Carlson, she was 45. She was known as Mother God. She had claimed to be able to cure cancer and communicate with the angels.
Okay.
She said she was the reincarnation of Jesus and Marilyn Monroe.
Wow.
Right? Yeah.
That's an interesting
People
Messiah.
fucking believed her. Well, okay, she only had 20 followers. Like, she had more online, I think, but 20 people lived with her. Like, they came to move in with old Amy. Like, they lived with Amy. They sold healing products. Bunny ears on the word healing products. One of these was called, okay, I'm going to try not to butcher this, okay? Collodial. It was a silver.
Oh, yeah.
And it was banned. Is that how you say it? Collodial?
I can't remember how you pronounce it, but I've heard of the silver people using that.
Yes, it was banned in 1999 by the FDA. They would sell these products to get money for themselves, and they knew it was banned. They knew it was bad. I don't know how they got it, but they sold them to get money for themselves. Literally, just to have money, like as their little cult.
And a lot of them do have scams involved.
100%, yeah. They did, like I said, this is brief. This is just some of the things they did. On April 28th in 2021, her mummified body was found in her home, wrapped in a sleeping bag with Christmas lights around it, like in a shrine type situation. The 20 people did this to her, like shrined her. She was blue, like her skin had turned blue months before because she was actually taking this Collodial.
It'll turn your skin.
And it turned her skin blue. But there was actually no foul play in her death. Like, she died of like, what was it? Hold on, I wrote it down. Alcohol poison, Collodial poison, and anorexia. So it was all natural causes. I mean, not natural, but nobody killed her.
Right, she kind of did it to herself.
But 7 of the members that were still there after she had died, 7 people stayed. They got charged with abuse of a corpse.
Even though they were like trying to honor her in some
but
way,
they also didn't turn it in.
Yeah.
So like, you don't turn this shit in. Like I said, there's a documentary on this that goes so much more deeper. I'm just saying, like, some of the crazy things these people can do is my point. Like, insane. They like worshipped her as Mother God. Like, because she said they have to have
Jesus.
They have to have that charisma. Is what it is.
Yep.
Okay, another one I did is called Heaven's Gate.
I've heard of this one.
It was led by Marshall Applewhite. They had 39 members, which, I mean, that's not a huge one. They thought the earth and everything on it was about to be recycled to a clean state. That was their belief. They wanted to hitch a ride on a comet called Hale-Bopp in March of 1997. And if they hitched a ride on this comet, they would survive and be able to come back. That is what these people believed. They actually poisoned themselves in different shifts throughout a day or two. I think it was 2 days. Like, these 4 did it at noon. These 4 did it at 2. These 4 did it at 3. In a mansion in California. They all did it. When they were discovered, when they were found, they were all wearing Nike sneakers, exact same pair.
I saw that.
Right?
Like, they were all wearing the same...
Yes, shoes. And they all had an armband that said Heaven's Gateway Team.
Huh. And that's what reminds me of that show, The Leftovers. I think it was on Showtime, and they had a cult-like thing on there. It's like an end of the world type of thing, and they all wore the same clothes and stuff, and that's what it made me think of. It's so weird. I guess I get dressing alike if you're all going the same, but that's very specific.
I mean, just like, let's hitch a ride on a comet. So I guess
I wonder if Nike had problems after that.
Probably not. They probably
doubt
them.
Yeah, probably
People
just helped them.
People are fascinated. The fascination behind comets, or not comets, cults. Jeez, comets
cults
too, I guess. Like, people stalk and follow, and like, it's still like some
kind of like with serial killers. They're just so intrigued.
100%, right? So now we both have kind of longer, big ones. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go ahead and start yours, my love.
I know in a recent episode I mentioned a little bit about the Jonestown massacre.
Yeah.
But I'd said I'd like to do a deep dive, and I figure this is a perfect
one
to
that?
do it. This is the Kool-Aid one.
No. Which episode was that? Was that Satanic Panic?
Maybe. Yeah, I think it was, because we were talking about religion and stuff.
Okay.
And how,
it was
Satanic Panic.
I didn't remember which episode it was, because I do remember you briefly talking about it.
Yeah, so I figured I'd do that one, because it's a pretty big one, and I actually heard about it on the radio I didn't know that this was the whole saying, don't drink the Kool-Aid, goes back to this cult.
100%, yeah.
1978 is when this happened, the Jonestown massacre. It started with, this is one of the largest mass death events in American history. So we'll just say it started with Jim Jones, a man born in 1931. He was a regular churchgoer, interested in religion from a young age. He started working in ministry after college, and he eventually became a reverend in Indiana. So he was always religious. And I think he started out with good intentions. He was well liked. He brought in members from all over. He was very charismatic, once again, very likable, a nice personality. He focused on civil rights and racial justice. So, everyone's welcome, especially during this time. It was very uncommon to have groups that were welcoming anyone, especially with all the racial stuff. And so he was very focused on civil rights. He wanted everyone to be welcome, no matter what. People with poverty level, people with different color, different races, everyone's welcome, and he wanted to fight for their rights pretty much.
Right.
So this is how he drew people in. And his group, his church, the People's Temple, was initially, they were involved in charitable causes. Like I said, they let anyone come. It was a huge deal. He had 8 children of his own with his wife, Marceline. So I assume they were part of the cult as well. And it all seemed wholesome at first. His causes were good, and, everybody was, they thought it was a good thing. But
I wonder if some of these leaders are like, I have a good idea, but then it gets to their head as they're going along.
They go power crazy or something.
Exactly. And they get like that urge of, I am God, I am mighty kind of thing, because they have recruited all these people, essentially. So I wonder if it's like
power
a
starts
mind
getting to their
fuck
head
on them. Yeah, okay.
Well, it started turning dark pretty quick. So he started to claim he was a prophet and a psychic, and then he was able to heal people with his mind, and people believed this, but then soon he started being accused of fake healing sessions and even sexual assault, things like that. And when word started getting around, he started getting a little anxious and restless, and he's like, shit, this isn't how I expected it to go, know. But he started warning his followers of a nuclear holocaust coming, because he had people of different races and different cultures, and there's another Holocaust coming. That's a nuclear war that's going to end the world. So again, we've got religion mixed with apocalypse and sex, because he was an abuser as well. So I didn't know a lot of detail on that, but he would keep these people safe, and they would continue to follow him, thinking we're going to be safe when the end of the world comes. So he eventually moved his church out to California, and they opened other branches across the country.
I think there's a lot of cults in California. I'm just saying.
I wonder why they go there.
It's got to be the water. I'm joking.
But eventually he started becoming paranoid. All these allegations made him like, shit, I got to get the hell out of Dodge. I got to get my people out of here. So he essentially ran to Guyana, I think is how you say it, which is a former British colony in South America. It was out in the jungle of Guyana, more like a 3,800 acre area. He took his people, everyone that was following him. They moved out there. They started a community where he promised, we'll work together. We'll grow our own food.
So his people came with him?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Most of them did. He had a very large...
Probably like the big followers came with. Okay, got it.
I'm talking hundreds, I want to say close to 1,000 people following him now.
Oh, God.
He had a whole community.
I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
And from the outside, people assumed this was a good thing. The members seemed happy with their new location. Some of them were even still in contact with their family back home. They would send letters, and a couple even left. Like, I don't know if they escaped or if they left on their own, but this is how word started getting out, because there was more going on inside, and he was keeping them quiet with threats and things like that. He actually had his own, guards, so this is when word starts getting out. People start writing home letters, and a couple people had escaped, and they were concerned, and they contacted government officials. And so this is when it starts getting violent. Sorry, I spaced out. But one of the letters written home said, I'm doing well. We're growing all sorts of fruits and vegetables. I'm going to stay. I'm free and happy now, and the girls are with me. You know how important that is to me. So some people took their whole families, but they were writing home everything's fine. But it was just kind of...
brainwashed.
Yes, exactly.
I would assume, yeah.
But then the stories got out that there was forced labor. There was constant threats of violence that, it felt like a prison. They felt like they couldn't leave. Like, there was no way out. And then I guess he started taking medications, from his people, stealing their medications, or, people from around. And he'd hide their passports. He'd hide their belongings. He started getting really controlling. And the more medications he'd take, the more ridiculous he would act under the influence, of course.
Of course.
He's got power and toxins in his system. So he would start giving these speeches where he'd just ramble on and on about the government and the media and how they're so against him. And he'd fabricate all this news. And because they're isolated from the rest of the world, they don't know what's going on. They only know what he's telling them. So he's telling them all these stories about the government's against them and I'm going to save you and I'm going to keep you safe. And so his fabricated news, all this, word got out. Like I said, government officials were involved. A congressman arrived in Guyana on November 18th, 1978. He was trying to help and evacuate some of the church members, but Jones' security team shot and killed him along with the 4 other people that were with him. This before they could even get off the airstrips. They didn't even make it back to their plane to go back home. He just took them all out. So this is when it starts getting really crazy. Yeah. So he's got actual armed guards, people protecting him that are so devoted to him that they will kill. Right. So over the next couple of days, he worked up this plan for his mass suicide. He'd warned his people that this time may come, that there's a time where we may have to take ourselves out. And these people, some of them were on board, of course. Of course. But some of them were
probably like
too terrified to leave, or they couldn't leave. And they've got families. A lot of them had kids.
Right.
So he instructed his followers to kill themselves, okay? And I know I've mentioned this a little in the past. This is where the Kool-Aid thing comes in. Cyanide-laced Flavor Aid. So the off-brand Kool-Aid, I guess, or what it used to be. That's where the phrase comes from. He had them all drink the cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. Now, from the outside, so he recorded this event. Like, all of this was, recorded. But he would make it sound... He would pause it, stop the recording at different times, cut out the disturbing parts, I think to make it sound like they were doing it willingly. Because the people that did survive and came out, I think he had 2 of his sons survive, so they would talk about it in years to come. Mm-hmm. It was not all willingly. He would tell them the jungles were full of mercenaries who want to kill them, and if they leave, the tigers and the snakes will eat them alive and things like that. And he threatened to turn them into zombies or imprison them with drugs. So, they're this is my only way out. So some of them felt like they had to do it. But I also read that he started with children first because he figured the parents wouldn't have a reason to live after that. So he would, line them up and make them drink this. And then, I guess some got out somehow, but a lot of them were children, younger people. So, he got them all to drink this, and he had... I did read that he had armed guards around. So I don't know that they could have left if they wanted to.
So he had these people fucking surrounded.
Yeah.
Legit.
But from his recordings, it made it sound like
they were willing.
Yeah. So they didn't really have a chance to get out, but he would focus on the social justice part of it too. He made it sound like these people were willing to give their lives because they're so willing to help the world with social injustice and blah, blah, blah. But 90 members did escape. Like I said, 2 of his sons, and they've talked about it. There's quotes and stuff I could have probably gotten into, but about what really happened. But
so, escape, they did not drink the Kool-Aid.
Evidently, they did not. Okay. But 900 people died. So, Jesus Christ. Like I said, a third of them were minors, and which makes it one of the biggest events in history. But yeah, that was November 18th, 1978. 900 people were killed in the Jonestown massacre.
Did he drink it?
It appears he did not drink his own Kool-Aid. He may have drank it, but it wasn't laced with cyanide. They did find traces of some type of sedative in his body, something they used to euthanize animals. I'm not sure. Maybe he was just taking a lot of stuff. But between his power surge of pretty much being a megalomaniac and the fact that he wanted to lead, they found him on the stage of the event, under a pavilion. They found his body with a gunshot to the head. So he did die in the event, but not from the Kool-Aid. They think that, some people think he shot himself, but the autopsy couldn't confirm. So a lot of people think, no, this guy's too power hungry. He's not going to shoot himself. Although he said things like, I will die for my purpose and blah, blah, blah. They
never will die for their purpose.
A lot of people think he actually was shot.
Suicide question mark, but not from the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it could. Okay. Homicide was not ruled out, but nobody really knows.
Right.
Yeah. So he did die, but
at that event. Right there at that event.
As from what I understood.
Yes, I mean, yeah, he did. That's what I know too. So he did die from that event.
Thank God. Because, I don't know. Well, he would have just been in prison, I'm sure, afterwards.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Got it?
Right? Okay. Because cyanide, you can't taste that, right?
I don't think so. But I don't know. I've never tried it.
Right? We wouldn't know.
Does anyone know if it has a taste? Because would you live? I guess if you had like just a little, I don't know.
I think
I'm
it's flavorless. I'm pretty sure. But
I have no idea.
But he had enough stuff in his system. I don't know. It's such a strange thing. I think he was on a power trip and then this paranoid and maybe just mentally unstable. I think he started out with a good thing and it got out of control and he got out of control and
power trip.
I don't know. Yeah.
It all went to his fucking head is what happened. And then he got nervous and he's like, I got to kill all these fuckers because they're going to take me down. And all these substances
he was taking fucked with him too, I'm sure. So
drugs are heavily involved usually, in a lot of them. Like a lot. Okay, so I'm going to do Charles Miles Maddox.
I was hoping you would.
Do you know who that is? No, a lot of people don't know that's his real name.
That's Manson, right?
Yes, it's Manson. He was born to be called the no-name Maddox. He did not have a name for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Because his mother was 16 and did not care to give him one.
Oh my gosh.
He does not exactly know who his father is. They have speculation, but yeah. Later on, she married a man with the last name of Manson. Okay. And he eventually took that name. So then he became Charles Miles Manson.
Okay.
Yes. He had a really shitty childhood. I'm not really going to get into it. He was born on November 12th, 1932. There is so much about his childhood you can go do a deep dive of. They were born
a year apart. Jim Jones and so they're pretty
in
close.
California too. Okay, anyway. So, he had a shitty childhood. There's so much you can go look up. There's so many documentaries. I'm not going deep into a lot of this stuff. If you want to know the nitty gritty, go watch one of them documentaries. Yeah. I'm just doing a quick, like, what the fuck kind of thing. Not really quick because it is a lot of pages, but you get my point. He spent pretty much the first 30 years of his life in and out of prison for random bullshit. Just stealing,
petty
theft, freaking, what is it called? Domestic, beating people, just random shit. Yeah. His mom was not a great mom. He never learned the ways of life at all, ever. While in prison, he actually found a love for music. He got himself a little guitar.
I think the leader of the Waco, he was a musician too, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, go ahead. While
he was actually like gathering his following later, he actually tried to get a music deal. Like he tried to get a deal with the music and he recorded, I think it was the Beatles has a big thing to do with this. I don't think it was the Beatles, was it the Beastie Boys or something? One of the members of them got to his producer and let him record a whole fucking album and everything. And they're like, no, we can't sign you. I want to say it was the Beastie Boys on that one. I'm not 100% on the name of that band. But no, like, he thought he was God's gift to the ears. Like, he really did think he was good. You can actually, right now, if you've got an Apple phone, I don't know about Spotify, go to Apple Music, type in Charles Manson. You can hear all of his music. Oh, like, wow. I did last night, because I saw it on the interwebs, and I'm like, no fucking way, bitch. You can listen to every one of his songs on Apple Music. It's not awful. But it's not anything I really enjoy, but it's not horrible. Like, wow. Like, isn't that fucking, I only crazy. Clicked on like 2 songs because I'm assuming, well, he's dead, so I was gonna say, I'm assuming he gets money for that kind of stuff. Like, listen.
Or maybe his family does? I don't know.
I would honestly hope the family of the victims did. Yeah. At this point. I think that's a thing now. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, okay, we're gonna start off with, he was a very avid drug user. Very avid. He liked the mind fuck drugs. LSD, stuff like LSD, mushrooms, and belladonna. Belladonna.
I always thought belladonna was like toxic.
It is in big doses, but when you smoke it, you become a
that's how he did a lot.
You become an airplane. Like he doesn't endless. Like he loved the mind fuck drugs. He was influenced 100% in the decisions he made by drugs and by music. Music is literally the reason this all started, is music. The Beatles song Helter Skelter from the album 1968 White Album. That entire album, he thought was a subliminal message, but Helter Skelter was the #1 song. Okay, Paul McCartney in the Beatles, right? He said that the playground slide in the song Helter Skelter was a metaphor for the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. But old Charlie Manson over there smoking the belladonna said, no. This song means we're going to have a race war. That's what it means. It doesn't mean anything about the fall of the empire. It's a race war.
Funny, that's kind of what Jim Jones said too.
Interesting, right?
They were very... How far apart were their...
69.
And this was 73?
His crimes were in 69, yeah.
Yeah. I guess
Not
his started earlier than that, but
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Very close.
So he literally thought this album had some... He would listen to it over and over and over on his little fucking VW bus and like in their house and everything. And he would think that they were talking to him, telling him to prevent a race war. It's coming. You need to do something about it. Like, holy fuck. He actually used that song and the lyrics to like guide his followers. To be like, do you hear
that was essentially his Bible.
Literally, he's like, do you hear what they say here? Do you hear what that is right there? Do you hear what that said? That means you need to do this. Wow. And they would fucking believe him. They'd be like, yes, sir. But they're also smoking the LSD too. Or I don't know how you do LSD and I don't want to know.
There's a couple ways.
Okay, don't tell me.
Itchy.
He also, from a very young age, had a very, very strong belief of Armageddon.
Yeah.
World's gonna end, we're all gonna die. Like, he always believed that. From a child, he believed that. He thought he was the announcer of doom. Like, because he thought the planet was going to explode, essentially, with a race war. The race war was going to kill us all. Like, that is what he believed. 100%.
And he thought he was the messenger.
He thought he was the messenger to tell the world it was coming.
Yeah. Because
Helter Skelter, a Beatles song, told him to. Like, how fucking fucked up is that? He had about 100 followers, so not a whole bunch. Several groupies.
Yeah.
Several. I think there were probably more groupies.
Fangirl type.
Yes. Than there were followers. They were mostly young girls. They actually believed he was Jesus. Because, I mean, kind of looked like him. If you know a picture of Charles Manson, he's got the long brown hair. What we think Jesus is, I should say. And they also believed all of his prophecies about the race works. He was preaching this shit to anybody he would. They called themselves...
I'm sorry, you get a handsome guy with a guitar and a lot of women will follow.
Yeah. Zach Bryan. No,
that's what I thought of. Right. They can do no wrong, even when they do. Cult-like following.
The family, not the groupies, the family called themselves the Manson family. That is what they referred to themselves as, was the Manson family. Even though there's no blood relation here whatsoever, they were the Manson family. They lived on a deserted ranch in the San Fernando Valley. Okay. He would just like toot toot drive around and like people would see him and be like, oh my god, Charles Manson, and they would jump in his van and become the family. Like, that's how he got his family. Like, there was not like that's how.
It's like, it's the ice cream man.
And they lived on this fucking weird ass ranch together. Like, they lived together in a house in a commune. And at first, I don't think it was about murdering and killing. It was just like a chill, let's go fucking smoke some shit and relax and listen to Helter Skelter. Like, really, I don't exactly know the turning point when it become crazy, but I do know, I'm going to throw a huge trigger warning. If you do not know anything about what Charles Manson and his followers did, it's brutal. Fucking brutal. So if you don't like brutal, just
turn it off.
Just fast forward to the last like 10 seconds or something. I don't know. Or just turn it off, because it is brutal. On August 9th, 1969, Manson got a little group as his followers together to carry out the first massacre among Hollywood's elite and the beautiful people of the world. Their goal was to take out the beautiful people, the rich people.
Like the Marilyn Manson song, The Beautiful People.
Kind of, but no. Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krendwinkle, and Linda Kasabian. I said all of those wrong, and I don't apologize, because they're all horrible fucking people. These four were his most obedient followers. He said jump, he said how high, so that's why he grabbed those four. He ordered them to go to the house of a director named Roman Polanski. I'm trying not to butcher. I'm a butcher on the names. I'm sorry. Roman Polanski. He said, you're going to go here and you're going to kill Roman, because he is a director of the big Hollywood people. He's a big guy. He's a director. He was actually out of the country filming, but there were still 4 people in the house. Stephen Parent was the first victim. He was only 18 years old. He was actually driving away from the house when they shot him in the back of the head. Okay. It's going to get violent. Here's your warning. These are the names of the 4 victims that were massacred in this house. And then I'm going to kind of go into how they were massacred. Sharon Tate, she was a very famous actress. She was 8 months pregnant.
She was kind of one of the biggest parts of that.
100%.
Yeah.
Writer, I'm going to butcher it because it's not American. Wojciechowski. Okay. Coffee bean heiress Abigail Folger. We know Folgers, right?
We know
She was in
Folgers.
the coffee. Like, she was an heiress of the coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. And celebrity hairstylist Jay Sebring. Those were the first 4 victims. They were all brought into the living room, and they were all tied up, minus Stephen, because Stephen was already shot outside. Stephen Parent. He was shot outside. I think he was leaving, and they were out there, and they just shot him because the other 4 they brought into the living room, and they tied them all up. Sebring, which was the hairstylist, he was actually shot trying to defend Sharon because Sharon was very, 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 very pregnant. He was shot, but he was essentially kicked to death. They kicked him to death. Okay? Fryoski, the name I couldn't do, he was the writer. And Folger, they both escaped. They both got out of the fucking house. They exited the house, but they were both chased down and stabbed to death. Folger was stabbed 28 fucking times.
Wow.
They went for her. Like, 28 times she was stabbed. Like, over fucking kill. Wow. Tate, who was actually married to Roman, the guy whose house we entered to kill Roman, she was married to him. She actually begged for the life of her unborn child. She was stabbed in the stomach. It killed her.
Now, these were these his followers doing this, or was
only
he with
his
them? Because he never actually.
Nope. The last thing that she heard, this is testified in court. If you don't want to hear it, hit the pause, fast forward button. The last thing Sharon heard was, "Look, bitch, I have no mercy for you. You're going to die. You better get used to it." That's the last thing Sharon Tate heard. Damn. They used Tate's blood to write "pig" on the front door. And then they left.
Damn.
Manson was not there. He never touched a human being. He only ordered them. He criticized these murders. I don't know if he went back and looked. I don't know how maybe just by telling them, he said it was too sloppy.
Wow.
You are too sloppy.
Well, then you should have done it yourself.
Right.
It reminds me, like, the way they lined them up reminds me like Negan on Walking Dead.
Right. They actually think this house was chosen because it represented, by Manson, because it represented the showbiz world that they said, no, you're not good enough for. So he chose a director to go, because they live among all of these. Yeah. It's Hollywood. They live in amazing places. The next night, he said, we're going to do this again because, listen, you didn't do good. So we're going to do it again. Manson came.
Need a redo.
He came the second night, okay? He took Tex Watson, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten. So he took 3 and himself, okay? They just drove around. They had within the trial, the Leslie Van Houten, she talked a lot. She said that they thought about going to a minister's house. They almost went and killed somebody who was just on the side of the road stranded.
Wow,
like,
those aren't elitist.
But my point is, like, there was no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, he just wanted to redo it.
He just wanted a redo.
He just
literally.
wanted perfection.
They stopped in front of Lino and Rosemary LaBianca's house. They owned a grocery store chain and a boutique. They were no one special. They think that they chose this house because he had actually been to a party at the neighbor's house a few years ago, like before this. So they think they chose it. He was in the neighborhood and he's like, I went to a party there, so we're going to go there. Big, beautiful house, you know? Manson and Tex was his right-hand man. Tex was his bro. Tex was his number one fucking follower. Manson and Tex went into the house, said, girls, you stay back. We're going to go in. They tied up the LaBiancos. They tied Manson and Tex did. They tied Lino up in the living room and Rosemary in the bedroom because that's the rooms they were in. They tied them in separate rooms. Manson left the house, went out to the car and said, go kill him. Wow. And sat there and waited. Actually, I don't know if he sat there and waited or took off walking. I saw different things and I do not know the truth because I was not there, obviously.
So he just wanted to make sure it was set up right.
I guess. Rosemary, I'm not going into gory details because there are very specific fucking details as to what, how, when, and where they did to these people.
And easy to find if you like that kind of stuff.
Rosemary was ultimately stabbed 41 times, and Lino was stabbed 12. He had 14 puncture marks from a fork that they had left in his stomach, like, other than the knife stab wounds, because there was also something around his throat. Like I said, it's gory. A violent scene. We're not going for violence today. The fork was left in his abdomen, though. And the word war was carved into his stomach also. with the fork, I'm assuming. I don't know. Using their blood, they wrote "Rise" and "Death to Pigs" on the walls. Okay. They also wrote "Helter Skelter" on the refrigerator, but they misspelled it.
Oh my.
Yeah.
He would be so angry, right? Was he not angry?
Right. I guess he doesn't go back. I don't know.
Oh
they actually took Rosemary's wallet, and the plan was to drop this wallet off into a black community. That was the ultimate plan. They would hope someone would find the wallet, pick it up, use the credit cards, and they would be tied to the murder because they have her wallet. That was their hope. But they did not do that. They ended up putting it in the back of a toilet at a rest stop. I don't know why the plans changed, but they fucking changed. They did not do this. They did not. The whole point was race war. So, like, dropping in a black community, they did not. They did not. It was in the back of a toilet, and they found it, like, 5 months later. Like, some random person was cleaning 5 months later and found it. Like, yeah. On October 10th, 1969, about 2 months later, okay, the Manson family was arrested for vandalizing the Death Valley National Park. They were all arrested. They were in booking. They were in there. Well, Susan Atkins, who was part of the first murders, the Tate murders, she was also being held on suspicion of killing Gary Hinman, another man, not related to anything we just did. She confessed to fucking everything while they're there in lockup. And they're like, holy shit, we have them. We just arrested them for vandalism. That is how they got caught.
Wow. Like, wrong place, wrong time.
Legit.
Well, for everyone else, the right place. But
that's it.
Wow.
And that's the story of Charles Manson. Like, that's legit.
It's so strange.
At the end. I have a little more, but like...
Yeah. I'd always heard he never actually physically killed
anyone. He never
anyone.
put a hand
just
on
put the
a human
orders
being.
out.
A lot of people define him as a serial killer. He is not a serial killer. In my eyes, he is a cult leader.
Mastermind of it, but
literally.
he's not. Yeah.
They think his
the way... Okay, he wanted him tied up. He wanted it done clean, it sounds like.
Yeah, but they did not.
So would he have actually done it that way?
I don't think
so
he could.
gory and horrible.
I don't think. His pathological ego, insanity, and belief in Armageddon are what led him to do these things. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
He just went off the rails.
He believed he was the new Messiah, of course. And after a nuclear attack, he and his followers would be saved because they were going to hide under the desert in a secret world. Belladonna is included in all of these things. Like, he is fucking crazy. Like, literally insane.
Sounds like it was just completely drug-induced. Like...
Yeah. Some of his visions included a belief that the race war would result in a black victory. Okay? Which would then lead Manson and his followers to come out of the desert and lead the new community because they wouldn't know how to do it. Like, this is what this man believed. I am not saying these words.
Wow.
This is 100% what this fucking man believed, okay? He believed his family and himself would benefit after the war, and that's why God told him he needed to start it. Because the war would later benefit them because they would be the leaders of the new community.
Wow.
100%. And that is why they think he was going to take that wallet and put it in that community.
Yeah.
But he never did. That. They never did that, which I do not understand what changed in that aspect. They just didn't. Right?
Yeah. It's like kind of more Antichrist thing than like he thought he was the Messiah, but he also thought he was the one that was supposed to start all the problems. So like
he was so fucked up. I don't think
there's no rhyme or reason
to
any of it.
Susan Atkins also said later she's the one that was told everybody everything. They actually had a list of celebrities they were going to kill. They had a list of motherfuckers. Elizabeth Taylor, her husband, Frank Sinatra, Steve McQueen, and Tom Jones.
Wow, those are big ones.
They thought they would shock the world the most, which, they would. During the trial, I'm not going into the trial deep, but they would all laugh and giggle at each other, and they would be like, Manson, and like,
wow.
Like, they did not fucking care at all. Manson actually released an album called Lie during his trial to raise money for his defense.
Wow.
He also carved an X on his forehead, and let me express to you, this motherfucker had hundreds of followers still coming to this courthouse, screaming and yelling for him, just hoping to get a glimpse of him. Wow. He carved an X on his forehead. Several of these girls did too. They carved their own fucking X's on their forehead and they shaved their heads for him. Fucking crazy fucking bitches, right? Eventually his X turned into a swastika. Like, he did it. He wanted a swastika on his forehead. What that has to do with any of this, he's fucking, like, he is insane crazy.
Yeah.
January 25th, 1971, he was convicted of first-degree murder for dictating the deaths. He got the death sentence, but in 72, the next year, California Supreme Court invalidated all death sentences. Yeah. And now you just get life in prison. So if you were in there for death, you got life. We're no longer killing people at that time. Atkins and Van Houten were also sentenced to death, but got life instead. Atkins actually died in 2009 in prison. Van Houten was released after 50 years in prison. She was fucking released after 7 parole hearings. She was in prison. She's out.
Wow.
In 2023. Kabassian was a star witness. Like, Kabassian was in the Tate murders. She, like, told everything. She stood up there. She got complete immunity. So she got nothing.
Wow.
And then on Sunday, November 19th, 2017, Charles Manson died at 83 years old of natural causes.
I guess I never realized anything about his death or how he...
Yeah.
I knew he was in prison for a long time, but I never knew...
There is so many more details, gory, not gory, better explanations. I just wanted to give, like, a brief, but not really brief, because it was, like, 20 minutes long, but, like, how fucking crazy this shit can get. And Charles Manson is a very well-known... Like, when you hear Charles Manson, you think cult. Yeah. Like, that is what you think. But that's what his cult did.
Yeah, because I know most people group him with the serial killers, and technically they are... like serial killings, but he is a cult leader.
A serial killing is actually 3 or more, and he only did 2 occurrences. I know 3 or more people, but 2 occurrences. So,
but how many actual murders were there? Was it 7?
4, 6.
Oh, okay.
6 total.
But still, technically, he's more of a cult leader.
I guess
than
7
anything.
because I did the 18-year-old too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't...
To think how many crazy minds could be together to do that shit. Like, that's...
99.999999% of this had to do with drugs.
Yeah.
That belladonna will fuck you up, apparently. Like, there's a reason why we don't know much about it. Like, like, I say that word and some people are probably like, what the fuck is that? Go Google it. It's like a trip. Yeah. And it's illegal in all... Well, I don't know about everywhere, but it's fucking crazy. It's insane what the mind of one human can do to other people is what I'm getting at. And like earlier...
Probably just like attacks certain parts of the brain that have like any kind of empathy or compassion.
Yeah. Earlier I did say I would join his cult. Like I said, would join the cult back when we're playing music and doing some shrooms.
I mean, okay, think if like Morgan Wallen or somebody who has like a big following and like... I mean, these women, even men, are so obsessed with him.
Right.
I could see some of them like fall like... He comes out downtown, is like, hey, y'all, join me. We can all go hang out.
We'll go live together in a house. I'm choosing 100 of you.
Sorry,
and now you
Morgan
have a cult.
Wallen fans. It's just for instance. Someone who has a very large...
Johnny Cash. Zach Bryan. Choose any
someone
singer.
Who
we're doing men. I mean, you could do women too.
Because all celebrities have big followings, but there are some people that it's almost cult-like following. Yeah. And he's one of them that I thought of. Like, people are obsessed, and he can do no wrong. Exactly. He gets in trouble, he gets arrested, they stand up for him, and that's one of those things. Like, I could see how people could follow him. I could see how people would do it, because when you get so it's
fucking insane, and it's almost always the vulnerable. I will say, of all the things I read, there are more men cult leaders than there are women.
Yeah.
But I did read a few on women, and they are so much more fucking scary than any man could be. I don't know why. It's even like if you watch a TV show and a woman pops up as the big bad guy, it's like,
well, women are so calculated.
I think that, and they just like, they cannot care and not freak out so much easier.
Yeah, the psychopathy is like...
Exactly. Stone cold, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
When I see like women, like female psychopaths in shows and stuff, and watch them turn it off and on, it is so eerie.
It is.
Like,
it really is.
I mean, men are creepy too, but I can see how a lot of men are more charismatic because their voices are more soothing and calming. But a woman, fucking terrifying because they're so
You're just so scared of her, you're going to say, yes, ma'am. Oh. Like, I don't know. It's a different kind of fear because men are a different kind of fear in general. Vibe, Women are just like, I don't know, so much more powerful to me because they're so, I don't
like
fucking
a quiet
care.
Power.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so
if you want to join our cult, just kidding.
No, don't do that. Okay. If you need to get a hold of us for any reason, you could do so at onlyifyoucankeepup@gmail.com. Don't join a cult.
be careful. Be careful out there, guys.
There's a lot of
ladies.
people. Okay. Bye.
Bye.